Who won? Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures and HBO. They won. Oh man. Man, oh 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 boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, I plan on telling you about it. I will be discussing, at least for part of this stream, once everybody gets here, Godzilla v. Kong. Hello, D. Hello, Captain Pink Laser Vest. You sense it wasn't good. What would give you that idea? Go get it. Go get your bow. I threw your bow. Go get it. Nobody won. Nobody won. Was it awesome? No. Nobody won. Wasn't awesome. It pretty much like went down like a bunch of like naysayers called it. I won't start too early. Let's give people a little time to get in here. So that I don't have to repeat myself. There will be a winner. It's like, what? Who's the win? Like, there isn't. Oh, they're definitely cranking it up for a part 2, probably. Or trying to. Okay. I've waited enough. People that come in later are just going to have to rewind it or go back and watch it later. I've waited enough. Well, I guess since we just tweeted out something about this, so I'll wait. I'll let people trickle in. And I'm not going to I don't know. I'm going to give you my spoiler-laden thoughts on the major plot points of this film as I understand them. And my thoughts on the franchise as a whole. And just kind of get it out there while it's like fresh in my mind. I just finished watching it with Amelia. Both of us going into it with about the same amount of Kong, Godzilla knowledge, at least when it comes to the modern stuff. I haven't seen Godzilla King of the Monsters.
I haven't either. You've seen more old Godzilla.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the old Godzillas, and I've seen some of the old Kongs, and I've seen Kong Skull Island. And that's it. That's it. So I kind of missed out on some of it, but this is really a crossover kind of movie. So, okay. I like to start this off by saying this. I forced myself to care about this movie because I used to really like getting hyped up for films like this. Who's gonna win? You know, blah, 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 blah. And I had a whole lot of fun going back and forth with TJ about this. But in the end, it was all just kind of an exercise for me to try and enjoy getting hyped up for a film again. Plus, 2020, as we all know, was a dismal year for fucking movies, right? Totally dismal, totally shitty year for film. Especially, you know, blockbuster, popcorn, action, kind of big budget movies like this one. So, with that out of the way at the beginning, my investment was purely, like, chosen. Like, I chose to invest myself in this and get all riled up because it was fun to go back and forth with TJ and Scotty about it. It's fun to go back and forth with the audience about it. It really was. And I will tell you, I had infinitely more fun doing that than I did watching the movie. And that's not a good sign. The movie is pretty bad. It has its moments. It has a couple of moments. We'll talk about its moments. But it is hampered from the jump by no less than like 20, 25 minutes of unbroken exposition. It's an hour and 45-minute long film or so. And I'd say about the first 20 to 25 minutes of the film are absolutely unbroken exposition, with the exception of a very quick run-in with Kong and Godzilla, or no, not even that. Just a very quick, like, Godzilla shows up and attacks something to break it up. That's it. You get to see like a minute of Godzilla, and then it's like 25 to 30, maybe even 30 minutes of solid, like, this is what happened. Then this is what happened. There are so many fucking characters involved in this movie that don't need to exist. I can't even begin to name them. I know I'm a little behind because I haven't watched the Godzilla King of the Monsters fucking movie. But let me try and explain to you the plot of this film. I find that to be a really good way to start talking about a movie, is to try and explain to you the major and salient plot points of this film. Okay. Godzilla, or let's start with Kong. Kong, at the beginning of this film, is being held in a Truman Show-style dome on Skull Island. It's made to look like he's not trapped, but he is. I'm not joking. This movie starts with Kong in the Truman Show. So Kong is in a dome that they've built on Skull Island to keep him contained. Yes. And there is a little girl and a woman who are there to study him. And they're trying to communicate with him. And the little girl is the only one that can communicate with him. Okay. That's one part. So we get all that exposition to explain us that. I did a better job, by the way. I explained it to you better than the movie does. King Kong lives in a dome. It looks, the sky is there, but he knows it's fake. He throws things at it and breaks the panels, and he knows he's in cave. He's not in the wilderness. He would know that anyway, because if he went to the edge of it, that's never explained, though. Why doesn't Kong go to the edge of the thing and just punch his way out of it? Who the fuck knows? He's able to break it, so I don't know why he just doesn't walk to the edge and punch his way out, but who knows? That's where Kong is at the beginning of this film. Okay, then there's this company. There's a big, evil, multinational company named Apex. Get it? Apex Predator? The company's name is Apex. And they are very much not into anything evil. And Godzilla, who saved humanity in Godzilla King of the Monsters, suddenly attacks this Apex facility in Florida. I thought Godzilla was our friend. What happened? I hate to do this to you again, but meanwhile, the daughter of the guy who I guess is the governmental, he runs the bureaucracy for dealing with Titans. So there's another group of people we have to learn about now. So we've learned about Kong and the little girl and the woman studying him. We've learned about Apex, the evil corporation. And now we've got the daughter of the guy that runs the bureaucratic department of Titan Research or whatever the fuck. And she listens, I'm not even joking, she listens to a crazy Alex Jones-esque conspiracy blogger, right? Podcaster. She's all into this, because this guy talks about Titans and his conspiracies and shit, right? And this guy just happens to work for Apex as like a low-level mechanic. And How they haven't fired him, I don't know. This company has enough money to, as you'll see, eventually build Mecha Godzilla. Spoiler alert. But doesn't have the security to like stop a dude from blogging everything they're doing from the inside of their company, whatever. Anyway, so she tries to convince her dad that Godzilla is not going crazy for no reason. And there's actually a line in this that fucking almost made me shit my pants with grief. She says, she says to her dad, Godzilla would never do this to us. He protected us. You saw it, Dad. You were there. And he looks at her and he says, people change. Monsters change. Monsters can change too. I was like, oh my fucking God, you gotta be kidding me. The old skeptical government official. Nobody's asking any questions about why Godzilla didn't destroy the whole city, just this one facility, right? So whatever. The daughter has to go off on her own to try and figure out what's going on at Apex that's driving Godzilla nuts. Meanwhile, Apex hires the brother of a guy who died trying to prove that the earth is hollow. I'll say that again. Apex, the evil corporation, hires the brother of a guy who died while trying to prove that the earth is hollow. And he's one of the only people in the world that believes that the earth is hollow. But Apex has mapped it and proven that there is indeed this hollow space at the end of the earth. And they theorize that it is from there that the Titans come. And thus, to understand how to stop Godzilla, they need to go to the center of the earth. They have a special vehicle that can do it, but they need Kong to go in there for them. So they need the Kong to go in there and lead them to this power source, because Kong is, I guess, from there, and I guess so is Godzilla. And so Kong will instinctually know where this power source at the center of the hollow earth is. Are you still with me? So Apex hires this dude who then goes to the dome on Skull Island and convinces this woman whose job it is to protect and study Kong that they need to strap Kong down to a fucking aircraft carrier and take him to Antarctica so he can jump down a hole to the center of the earth. I wish to fucking God I was joking with you, but I'm not. I'm not. Okay. So now that's what the 20 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes left of exposition that starts this film waste your time getting you in there. It's an absolute fucking mishmash, horrible. It just makes no sense, right? Okay. So there's all this talk. And the lady tells the guy that comes there to get her permission to use Kong on this special mission, she says, Kong bows to no one. Okay. And then in the next scene, literally, Kong is chained up to a fucking aircraft carrier. So apparently Kong bows to somebody with a fucking tranquilizer dart, but no one else. So they don't show you any of that. They don't show you what they use to load Kong onto an aircraft carrier, how they even accomplish such a fucking thing, because Kong is literally like tits high to the top of a skyscraper. So how did they get him over there? I don't fucking know, but that's the next time we see Kong. He's strapped to a fucking aircraft carrier. There's this whole fleet of Navy vessels flanking him, and he's all doped up and chained up on an aircraft carrier. And then while he's on the aircraft carrier, we figure out, okay, the little girl that I told you about earlier, remember there was a woman and a little girl. The little girl is deaf, and she signs to Kong, and they just find out somehow this lady has been studying Kong for like years, and she just finds out that King Kong does sign language with the little girl. This woman's whole fucking job has been to find out how to communicate with Monkey, and the little deaf girl that lives with her has been doing it for 3 years and just didn't tell her. No joke. That's the plot. So they find that out. They find out that Kong can communicate. You know, the little deaf girl says what's wrong while he's on the boat, and he goes home. You know, or like he doesn't say it, but he signs it, and you get the fucking, you know. Anyway, so Kong knows sign language. Kong knows sign language. I don't know how else to put it. Kong, he knows sign language. Anyway, then of course, because it's explained at some point during this exposition that there can't be two alpha titans on the planet at once. Godzilla gets wise to what they're doing, senses Kong somehow, and attacks Kong, right? So he comes to attack this whole fleet of ships. Kong is still chained up for most of the fight. Like, Kong literally gets flipped over upside down on the fucking aircraft carrier. It's totally, like, this is one of those ones that Godzilla apologists are going to be like, Godzilla whooped the monkey's ass. Like, no. No, the fact that Kong even survived that encounter is fucking shocking. Kong was fucking literally chained up for 90% of the encounter. 90% of the encounter. You just blanked out for 2 minutes. Trust me, you're not alone. Okay, Godzilla shows up. Kong and him have a fight. Godzilla almost kills Kong, but they manage to trick Godzilla by shutting the engine of the boat off, and then Godzilla thinks like, oh, the boats are dead, I win, and goes away. So I guess Godzilla is functionally just like fucking not that bright. Which makes sense, he is a lizard. But whatever. So Godzilla goes off, Kong barely survives. Kong gets to Antarctica, where there's this hole that goes to the center of the hollow planet. Now, it's explained at the beginning of this movie that the reason that everybody that's tried to explore it has died is because there's this point where you reach the center of the planet where gravity reverses and the entire gravitational force of the planet hits you at once as gravity reverses. So they have a special vehicle that they build, and this becomes important later. They have a special vehicle that they build that can withstand that. But Kong apparently can also withstand that. So Kong could be literally punched in the face by a planet. Literally, the gravitational force of the Earth has no fucking... It don't hurt Kong at all. Kong can slam into that barrier and go through it, and he's fine. But we have to have a special vehicle for human beings to get in there. Anyway, so Kong gets down there, and the people follow him. And Kong runs around in this jungle, you know, primordial-looking center of the Earth world. And Kong finds a fucking a temple, apparently built by other giant monkeys. And he goes into the temple, and he finds an axe. I'm not even joking you. Kong gets a fucking axe, which is kind of cool. I was actually pretty stoked when Kong got an axe, but then I was like, wait a minute, what does Kong have an axe? Who built the axe? There's a whole... So it is implied that there was like a giant ape society down there. Kong discovers it, gets a big kind of axe thing, sits on the Kong throne. Meanwhile, I'm exhausted. Meanwhile, the little girl and her best dorky friend and this blogger meet up, and they break into the Apex facility in Florida where Godzilla attacked at the beginning of the movie, and they somehow get on a cargo container that has a Hyperloop tunnel connection to their facility in Hong Kong. So they somehow accidentally get shipped to Hong Kong on a Hyperloop thing. They get to fucking Hong Kong, somehow get out of the fucking container with nobody being the wiser at this super secret high-tech facility, and they discover that indeed Apex is building Mecha Godzilla. Um, at this point, it doesn't like. So anyway, Godzilla comes for Mechagodzilla and he comes to destroy Hong Kong, thus cementing the Chinese audience's fucking interest in the movie. Godzilla comes. It's a very accurate representation of downtown Hong Kong. He starts to destroy it. Well, actually, before he starts to destroy it, he senses this is the shit. I almost left out something great. He Godzilla senses that Kong has reached the Kong throne at the center of the earth, looks downward, and shoots a nuclear laser blast that penetrates to the center of the earth. And makes a tunnel. It breaks right in to the chamber that Kong and all these other people are in and fucks everything up. Meanwhile, the evil corporate people that are with the expedition steal a little bit of the special metal that's from the center of the earth so that they can power Mechagodzilla with it. Kong and Godzilla literally scream at each other from the center of the earth to the surface of the earth. So, like, Godzilla burns a hole to the center of the earth with his laser, and then he goes, "Brrrr!" And then it goes, you get this zoom shot, and then at the bottom of it is Kong, and he goes, "Brrrr!" So, I guess that's how sound works.
And they uplinked the energy source through the center of the earth too. Just wireless through the center.
Oh yeah, that's right. They didn't even need to transport the energy source to the surface to power Mechagodzilla. They just downloaded it and sent it via data packets up there, and that's all they needed. Anyway, so Kong starts crawling up the hole that Godzilla made that leads straight to Hong Kong from the center of the earth. And the evil people are killed, but not before they download the special data on the mineral that's down there to power Mechagodzilla. And the good guys that were there with him, including the little deaf girl, they get back on a vehicle and they go back up the hole that Godzilla made as well to Hong Kong. And then Godzilla and Kong finally have their first proper fight where one of them isn't handicapped. It goes back and forth, and Kong beats Godzilla. Godzilla beats Kong. I'm not going to dispute it. In that first meetup, they go back and forth, they have it out. Godzilla beats Kong. Kong is almost dead at the end. Now, hold on. It's not over yet. Kong is literally almost dead at the end, and the little deaf girl is standing there, and she touches the ground, and she can hear his heartbeat going like, boom, 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 boom. And she's like, he's dying, And they go get, you remember the special vehicles that they had that could fly through the center of the earth? They're like, man, the only way we could save Kong is with a jolt of electricity that would light up Las Vegas for a week. And then for some reason, that's that vehicle. So they take that vehicle that they made that can go fly to the center of the earth and they land it on Kong's heart and then overload it. And it... Right? But before that happens, as Kong is laying there dying, Mechagodzilla come out. And he starts whooping Godzilla's ass. Godzilla never even lands a punch. Doesn't even get one in on Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla literally decimates Godzilla, right? And while this is going on, we're watching them set up the fucking paddles on Kong with the fucking vehicle, whatever. So Mechagodzilla is just about to kill Godzilla. King Kong gets raised from the dead. He pops his shoulder back into place and goes, brrr. And then Godzilla and King Kong beat the fuck out of Mechagodzilla for a while. And then Mechagodzilla almost kills Godzilla again. But then King Kong grabs his axe, gives the coup de grace. And then they like look at each other and scream. And I guess that means like we bros now. And Godzilla goes back into the ocean. And then the last scene of the movie is Kong, who's been relocated to the center of the earth. And there's a facility there to monitor him, but he's finally happy because he's back where he belongs.
Oh, yeah, you forgot about whiskey pouring onto the console.
I did. Trust me. Just to get through the fucking principal plot points of this, I had to leave out so much dumb shit.
But yeah, that's dumb shit number one. They disabled Mechagodzilla by spilling whiskey onto the console.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they help. They don't fully disable him, but they manage
like a jolt or whatever.
Right. That's why the whole podcaster daughter of the bureaucrat for Titans and her fat New Zealander friend. That's the whole point of them, is that they end up inside the facility at the console that can shut down Mechagodzilla, but they can't figure out how to hack it. And so they pour some whiskey on it, and it zaps, and Mechagodzilla goes for a second, and then that lets Monkey cut him up, and that's it. There you go. I have just saved you
2 hours.
2 hours and $15 for HBO Max. You're welcome. Or, yeah, an even more expensive trip to the fucking theater. You're welcome. How big was King Kong? He was, I would say, like a head shorter than Godzilla. They made him like roughly the same size as Godzilla.
Which they already set precedent for
Right.
in Skull Island.
Right. Good.
They also have a huge hate boner for planes. So many planes get destroyed.
Yeah, for some reason, like, people haven't learned not to fly planes near Godzilla. Like, all these expensive-ass fighter jets are trying to get in all close to him and shit. And I'm like, why? Just so he can swat them, I guess. I guess that's just part of how they fight him, is they have fighter jets needlessly getting blown up. There's so much shit in this movie that's just absolutely, completely, utterly unnecessary.
You talk about the helicopters transporting.
Oh my fucking god! Yeah, so you got to remember this dude is like Kong is like a skyscraper comes up to about shoulder height on Kong, right? They use a bunch of helicopters and a net to move him off of the fucking boat and onto Antarctica. There's like, probably like 36 helicopters and a net. That's how they move him.
Because Godzilla is so dumb that all I had to do was turn off the ships and then he leaves.
Yeah, this was just a 100% bad movie with very little redeeming quality at all.
There's a Tide Pod joke.
There's a Tide Pod joke that feels like 3 years late, yeah. Did Mechagodzilla look badass? Actually, no. Of the three monsters, Mechagodzilla is easily the lamest looking design of the three. Kong is easily the best. There's actually a scene where Godzilla smiles. Godzilla hits Kong with his nuclear laser breath, and Kong's like, ugh! And he looks at, he's laying on the ground, and he looks at Godzilla, and I shit you not, Godzilla goes, like, he grins. He's like sitting there like, and then he goes,
oh yeah, and they have to find the podcaster because he likes to shower in bleach. So they just find the store, I guess, somewhere.
You just
who sells the most bleach?
This is how this podcaster guy, right? He's like underground. He doesn't want anybody to know. Why he exists, I don't even fucking know. But whatever. He's like underground. He doesn't want anybody to know. And this girl listens to his podcasts all the time. And how they find him is they know that he showers off in bleach because he thinks that it disables some fucking radio wave. He's like a fucking Alex Jones conspiracy nut guy. And so they just kind of like go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and start asking around at stores like, do you know a guy that buys lots of bleach? And they find somebody who's like, yeah, I do know a guy that buys a lot of bleach. That's how they find him.
That's where the Tide Pod joke happened too.
Yeah. They go, do you know somebody that buys lots of bleach? And the guy's like, this isn't one of those Tide Pod things again.
I'm still facing the lawsuit.
What? Who wrote this? Because no disrespect intended, but it sounds like they dropped off this script at the special school with some crayons and just kind of interpreted what doodles they could come up with there. It literally makes no fucking sense. Nothing about the movie makes any sense. Was the movie good? No.
And that chick too, she says like 3 times, like, Kong cannot be tamed, even though he was enclosed in this facility and chained to an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Can't be contained.
Flown around by fucking helicopter. But he can't be contained. It's very bad. It's very bad. No, it almost does seem like satire. It really does. Like, explaining out loud the principal plot points of this film have just reminded me how incredibly fucking stupid it was. And I just watched it. I just want to see the Zilla grin. I'm sure it'll be a meme soon. I'm sure the Zilla grin will be a meme soon. Yeah, he bows to a little girl. He bows to whoever's able to tranquilize him and move him around like a sack of potatoes. He bows to the people that built this fucking dome that he can't escape. But other than that, and Godzilla, Kong bows to no one. Were the fight scenes good? Like the final fight scene kind of fight thing, it's all right, I guess. I mean, it's just CGI fest. I mean, I don't know what you can't really expect much different.
Oh yeah, the Harry Potter fucking shit between Mechagodzilla and Godzilla.
They do that back in so it's like probably a callback because Mechagodzilla and Godzilla do the fucking fighting laser beam thing, but it's just so overdone now in films. Yeah, they do the fucking Mechagodzilla shoots his laser and fucking Godzilla shoots his laser and they have a Voldemort Harry Potter laser wand fight. I mean, the fight scene, like, look, dude, it's good. There's some good CGI. Some of the fight scenes were reasonably okay to watch. But
you weren't, like, holding your breath, like...
Not even close. But that's it. Like, if that's all you really wanted from the movie is, like, 5 minutes of fight scenes with 140 minutes of exposition, they got you covered.
And you like the very beginning with Kong having his morning routine.
I mean, it's because it looked like they were going to do something cool and different with the franchise, but they didn't. The human plot was incompetent and largely unnecessary. Like, I don't even really know why the kid and the blogger thing even needed to exist other than to pad out this time or this movie with runtime. Like, they just seem like 3 characters that were in this movie to pad out how long this movie was, because in the end, they really didn't need to be there. They justify them being there by them spilling whiskey on a fucking futuristic console that temporarily disables fucking Mechagodzilla, and that's so stupid.
Yeah.
How to appeal to the Zoomers. I mean, you can guarantee... I can just tell that this movie was written by committee. There was we've got to appeal to the Chinese audience. We've got to appeal to young people. We've got to appeal to old fans of it. And it just feels like they were so keen on appealing to everybody that they forgot to make a movie that was fun to watch and comprehensible plot-wise.
Yeah, it's like our 3 little merry band of crazy people. They went into a hyperloop. They spilled the whiskey. There was no need for them to introduce the facility with Apex. They could have just done that.
There was no reason for about half the characters in this movie to exist. The dude whose brother was lost, like, what was he there for? Why didn't they just go have the evil corporation lady cut out the middleman and go straight to the chick that and beguile her and trick her? That would have been a way better thing anyway.
Yeah.
So there's that character, the fucking male lead, I guess, doesn't need to exist at all. Has nothing to do or add to the movie at all in terms of expertise or anything. He literally, I don't even know why they bothered to consult him about it. Everything that they do, they invented themselves. Like all the technology they need to get to the center of the earth, they invented themselves. All of the fucking technology they need to subdue Kong and get him to fucking Antarctica, they had themselves. This dude is just along for the ride. Like the human, they're like.
And I guess he had to be there to jumpstart Kong's heart, I guess.
Why couldn't the lady have done that?
Yeah.
He just did. He doesn't need to be there. There's so many. It was like a lot of the exposition. Like the only reason I would say it's not like straight out boring is because my brain was trying to make heads or tails of the plot. Like I was trying to figure out like, is this really happening? Is this what? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So they're gonna go. Wait, they're in the center of the earth? What about Kong, though? Are they going to put him in a... No, he's just going to jump. Okay. So I guess Kong can survive the gravity of the whole planet smashing him. Okay. That's cool. All right. Wait. You know, it was just like... I felt like, yeah, I kind of glazed over, but not in a good way. Sometimes when you glaze over in a movie, it's like, that's what I was looking for. Thank goodness I glazed over. This movie, it was a glaze over from getting tired following it.
Yeah, it's like no one like redeemable was ever put into like serious harm's way.
No.
Like the girl was never almost killed by anything.
Nope. You're being too reductionist about it. Not every character needs a truly essential purpose. This is what we call bad script writing. And I would ask you to go watch The Silence of the Lambs for a good example of a film that doesn't have a single character that doesn't need to exist in it. I would also invite you to watch pretty much any Stanley Kubrick film for proof of concept on this. If you're going to put a character that chews screen time on the screen, you better damn well justify their fucking existence with some interest and some backstory. Otherwise, they're just filler. I've missed 2 super chats. Oh boy. Okay, yeah. TBH is basically a classic Godzilla film made with modern special effects. It's just easier to accept those sorts of plots with rubber suits. That's not an excuse either. Godzilla vs. Kong felt like one of the old Godzilla movies to me. It didn't feel like that to me at all. It didn't feel like that to me at all. Like I don't buy the excuse that like the old movies that these are based on were simplistic, because this plot was not simplistic. It was the opposite of simplistic. It was literally overcomplicated to the point of almost unfollowability. Like that's not how the original Godzilla films are. There's a little bit of weird exposition, and then some big giant monster shows up, and Kong has a bunch of fights with him, or Godzilla has a bunch of fights with him, and that's that. You know what I mean? This movie was ponderous, dude. This plot was just such a fucking mess, a total mess, and it didn't need. The story was very simple. Dude, go rewind this and listen to me fucking recap the principal plot points of this film. And you tell me that the story was very simple.
It's like you can follow it, it's just stupidly complicated.
Overly so. To fill fucking time.
You said, like, it looks like a Transformers movie.
It feels like one, too.
Yeah.
Convoluted, stuffed with filler, stuffed with scenes that don't need to be there, and characters that don't need to be there. And it's way too skimpy on the shit you actually came for. You came to watch Godzilla and fucking Kong fight. and Godzilla fight things, and Kong fight things. And I would guess within the fucking runtime of this movie, there might be 10 minutes of that. There might be 10 minutes.
Being real generous.
20 if you're counting stuff that's not really action.
Like him eating something in the center of the earth or whatever.
Or just sitting on the throne or wandering around the center of the earth or whatever. If you count screen time, it's more than 10 minutes. But I bet if you counted like actual fights, there's about 10, 15 minutes generously. And the rest of it is literally just stuffed with people you don't fucking care about, characters that you don't have time to introduce.
It's like, think back to the old days. Like, you guys cover a lot of older movies for your movie reviews on Patreon. Those are like an hour long. They knew when it was over, it was over.
Yeah.
There's no reason we can't go back to hour-long movies again. When it's appropriate.
Why is it so highly rated? I think people are just fucking starved for big budget movies. After 2020, I think people are just starved for that type of shit. So, there you go. But as far as a movie, it's not satisfying at all. The conclusion is, it was a total lie when they said that there will be a clear winner. There isn't. There's a truce at the end of it. Like, Kong beats up Godzilla. Godzilla beats up Kong. Mechagodzilla beats up Godzilla. Kong teams up with Godzilla to beat up Mechagodzilla. They look at each other and make a truce, and then Godzilla goes back home and Kong goes back home. There aren't too many characters. Plot A has like 3 or 4 characters, and plot B has like 3 or 4 characters, ignoring King Kong and GZ. What about plot C?
Yeah, our merry band of idiots just trapezing around the facility.
Yeah. What about plot C, though? What about the 4 characters involved in that? Dad, daughter, dumb New Zealander fat kid, and blogger guy. Uh-ohs.
It's like we didn't even get a proper introduction to Apex because they wasted time on that.
Yep. They wasted time introducing way too many side plots that didn't need to be there. Did Kong shove a tree down Godzilla's throat? No, he shoved the handle of his axe down Godzilla's throat at one point, though. Any sequel hopes? Yeah, I can almost guarantee there'll be a sequel. I'm not hoping for it, but I can almost guarantee there will be a sequel to this.
Yeah, M. Jackson, I thought it was the dude from Deadpool as well, so I think I was right.
Yeah.
Kid.
This movie sounds so bloated. It is. I'm going to hide you. Hashtagging the same thing in my fucking chat every fucking day is super annoying. You might be a person that doesn't have, like, the ability to understand that. So I'm going to hide you, and when you come back, I'm going to hope that you choose something else to do with your time.
Like, if there is a sequel, the plot's going to be wholly predictable. It's going to be something escapes out of the center of the earth because they have that open now, and then Godzilla and King Kong have to fight it together.
Mm-hmm. It'll be the same plot. This whole movie was basically a justification to get Godzilla and Kong to team up, not have a fight. And that's the truth of it. So now it's a monster team-up buddy cop movie where, like, different monsters are going to come, and Godzilla is going to fight it, and it's almost going to kill him, and then Kong's going to hear about it and come and help his buddy, and vice versa, until people are just sick of it. It's CGI on CGI on CGI. Some of it looks really good. Some of it looks really bad. Like Godzilla in particular looks really bad. His face, his whole design just looks fat, bottom heavy, weird. Like, I don't know. Godzilla's design is definitely the most egregiously bad in the movie. Well, maybe not. Fucking, whatchamacallit, Mechagodzilla is... What are you doing, D?
He wants laugh, I guess. Won't put up with not having it.
Jesus. How do we get Hollywood to stop making movies for China? I don't think we do, bro. Yeah, Mechagodzilla is the worst design in the film, but Godzilla himself don't look all that great either. Kong looks good. Kong is very expressive. I think they could have like kept the plot line with the little girl that communicates with them and gotten rid of about half the human characters in this film, and just spent more time developing that relationship and developing Kong as a character. Like, I think that would have been way better than all of these surreptitious human characters that are just like more and more and more fucking convolutedly involved in this in ways that you don't care about. Mechagodzilla had a bad design but dope powers. I mean,
He had mimicry powers and he had like some jets.
he had like a when he would punch, like he had like I guess an electric punch.
And then he had like little jets pushing him harder.
Yeah.
Back.
And then
he had the spinny tail, which didn't do anything.
Yeah, he had this tail thing that like didn't do him any good, and he had the mouth laser that was red instead of Godzilla's typical blue. Bye, George. The humans in these movies are a necessary evil since you can't have 2 entire hours of Kong and Godzilla fighting each other. Too redundant. Yeah, I know this. I don't think it's necessary for you to have 15 human fucking characters in the movie, though. I didn't say that there shouldn't be a human or two in the film. I just said that we don't need 15 different plot lines of human shit.
And probably with all the danger involved, at least one of them should have died. That wasn't just evil corporate bitch and evil corporate man dying.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing at stake in the movie from the very beginning, you can tell. Like, with the human characters, they're just there to pad the film out so that it's not just 15 minutes of Godzilla beating on fucking Kong. Because that's all they had the creativity to come up with. It's just laziness. Yeah, none of the main characters in this movie are even harmed.
Yeah,
and there's some times where it makes no sense that they're not harmed. Like, they're literally on the bridge of a fucking aircraft carrier that gets rolled over upside down and then re-rolled over upside down again, and they're all fine. Like, none of the principal characters or anybody, as far as we can tell, is harmed in that incident that would have killed everybody on board.
The 2 kids and the podcaster are literally in the room with Mechagodzilla and completely ignored.
Dude, yeah, Mechagodzilla comes out to do like a test of his powers during his big reveal, and the dorky podcaster and 2 dorky kids are running around on the ground as laser beams almost hit them, and like big beasts come out to it's like the stupid, and nobody sees them. It's the stupidest shit. Like, this movie is so dumb. So, yeah, thanks for your $5 and whatnot. But, like, I understand you can't just have an entire movie of monkey punching lizard in the face, dipshit. But that doesn't mean that they have to fucking put 15 characters you don't care about, an incomprehensible amount of fucking exposition, and a real shitty plot to boot. I wouldn't have been shocked if they did have a breakdancing lightsaber fight. They didn't, but it wouldn't have been shocking. Also, was Mechagodzilla possessed by King Ghidorah or something? Yeah, that was something they flung in there. Like, the idea was to use King Ghidorah's skull to make a machine so that a human could take control of Mechagodzilla. And then something goes wrong when they upgrade Mechagodzilla's power source using the mineral from the center of the earth. And it kills the guy that's fucking supposed to be piloting it. And Mechagodzilla goes rogue and destroys the whole facility and kills the guy that made him.
Like, how much cooler would it have been to, like, flesh out the dude piloting it and have him have, like, a moral conflict or something? Like,
that would have required, like, actual writing.
Like, have him, like, be all, like, oh yeah, fucking corporate. And then it's like, oh no, Ghidorah's trying to fucking take over. I'm gonna struggle. And that's gonna help Godzilla and Kong win or some shit.
That would have required them to actually like dedicate some time to developing that character who was just like crazy Asian guy.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'm Asian guy. I'm here so that the Chinese audience is appealed to.
And I'm just gonna get electrocuted dumbly, and that's it.
Yeah. I don't care about the writing at all. Got to see the cool fights. Yep. You wasted about a fucking hour and a half, but yeah, you got to see the cool fights. For somebody that doesn't care about I hope you just fast forwarded.
Yeah.
Hope you just fast forwarded, because if you didn't, you don't care about the writing or anything at all, you could have watched that movie in about 10, 15 minutes.
We need like those dudes that are in YouTube comments putting out timestamps for like the good parts of movies. It's like, all right, here's all the timestamps for the fight.
Yep. This honestly sounds like the big dumb movie the world wants right now. Okay, cool. It just sucks. Movie starts at 4:20. Yep.
This one's more like movie starts at 25:45 or something.
Yep. And then ends again, and then restarts at about an hour and a half, and then ends again, and then restarts at about an hour and 40 minutes. And there you go. There's the shit you need to watch. Grand total of about half an hour of that movie was necessary.
Yeah, Mendacious Sea, that's probably fair. Movie starts at boat.
Yeah, pretty much. They could have started the movie there and just caught us up real quick. You know, but they didn't.
See, they were trying to appeal to everyone, so no one lost except Mechagodzilla.
Right. And even, you know, even it's even implied that he didn't lose because Ghidorah fucking is out there again or whatever the fuck. Or at least he's capable of taking control of things or whatever the fuck. Kong Deaf Lost. I mean, if you watch that movie and you think either of those motherfuckers deaf lost, then you've got a fucking dog in the hunt. Nobody won. That's the sad part about it. Like, I'd be happy if there was a definitive, like, Godzilla fucking won and Kong had to fucking, you know, admit it, or even Kong was killed by it or whatever the fuck. Like, that would have been cool. Since you saved me money, I'll give it to you. Given the level of pandering, I'm surprised neither monster's dabbed or flossed for a TikTok video. Yeah. Yeah, the audience loses the fight for sure. Will there be a DFF review with TJ and Scotty giving their thoughts? I don't know. I mean, if they'd like to, I'd be more than happy to do a fucking long form discussion of this dumb, stupid fucking movie. I thought Skull Island was okay. It wasn't great, but it was like, that one I was willing to let go as like, oh, popcorn flick, you know, whatever. Que sera, sera. But this one was just too dumb, too stupid, too lame.
Yeah, Skull Island actually had stakes. There were characters that they developed enough to where you might care if they
Right,
died.
and there were few enough of them that like you could keep track of it. Happy to have a blockbuster that's not comic book related or Star Wars. I mean, if that's like, dude, whatever. Be passive about it. Like, I really don't care. I told you guys at the beginning of this that my hype for this movie was all self-imposed and fake because I just liked being able to get hyped up about shit like this again, and it didn't pay off in the least. The hyping myself up with TJ and Scotty and arguing with them about the possible outcomes of this movie was infinitely more fun than I had watching the film. And that's sad. Like if the only expectation you have of film is like it dumb, it loud, it big, like a couple of you fucking dorks in here seem to, then hey, dude, it's the movie for you. I can't recommend it highly enough, man. It'll throw a lot of real loud stuff at you and a lot of flashy colors, and there's a big monkey and he punches a lizard and there's laser beams, yo. Like if that's all it takes for you, you might want to get one of those like mobiles that they hang above a baby's bed if you're having trouble sleeping too. That might fucking keep you entertained for a few hours till you pass out. Like if that's all you want is just dialogue so boring and characters so uninteresting that you can't help but care about it, like not care about any of them, and 15 minutes of CGI fights wrapped in a giant burrito of unwatchable exposition. If that's all you expect out of a movie, this is a fucking gold medal fucking movie right here. The Oscar goes to. If you think that it's possible for the movie to be a little bit smart and a little bit fun, like Skull Island was, you're sorely mistaken. You're sorely mistaken. It's just not. Like, it doesn't have any of the lighthearted, kind of almost serio comedic tone that fucking Skull Island had. There's nothing funny about this movie. Every joke.
Just incredulous
Yep.
fucking guffaws. That's all you get.
Yep. There's nothing funny. None of the jokes in this movie land. So if you want to yuck at the movies, it's not going to make you laugh. How many times did I watch it? I watched it once. In other words, the Hollywood hype and advertising is doing what they do. See, here's what I don't get, though, and this is what fucking shocks me about it, and I know what some of the answer is to this. Some of the answer to this is the Chinese audience, writ large. China has different expectations of cinema than America does. The Chinese sensibility when it comes to film is different from the American sensibility when it comes to film. But the Chinese market is absolutely necessary for a lot of these high budget films to do well. You have to do at least as well in China if you do in America, if not better. And so many movies are being made with these kind of, I don't want to call it lower expectations, because I'm sure that there's some Chinese cinema that's really good, but the Chinese audience is far more forgiving of plot lines that make no fucking sense and big boisterous action films that are just a mile a minute fucking action CGI porn. And they flood the fucking market with these types of films, and it happened to Star Wars. Star Wars literally got dumbed down to the point of no return because of this phenomenon. Oh yeah, the Transformers films, but you can see this in a lot of different movies over the course of a lot of genres. It has caused a reverse renaissance in script writing, where the script is like the 15th thing that you consider about a movie, and really what you want to consider is how much action can we pack it in, how many references to China can we pack in, how many companies are willing to buy logo time. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what this movie is. and it's not even how much bad CGI, it's how little. How little can we get away with and still call this a movie? How little time can we spend on these action scenes, and how little of them can we put in this movie with the balance of it being people having boring conversations with one another? That's what this script was written from, that perspective, guaranteed. How do we fill it with enough stuff to justify it, calling it a movie, and spend every like pinch every penny on the CGI? Well, we got to come up with 3 different groups of characters. We could probably pad it out with 25 minutes of exposition just right off the bat. Yeah, you're right. It just sucks. Movie sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Mendacious C is still here, but did you feel pandered to by the fucking fat hacker kid?
Oh yeah, they put a Kiwi in there, dude. Oi, mate! Why we're doing this? I don't like this. I knew what to expect from writing after I found out it was the same director as the Netflix Death Note adaptation. Is it really? Yeah, it's terrible, dude. Well, it isn't China's fault, though. It's because of the Fortnite generation. No, dude, no. Look, somehow they managed for a long time in Hollywood to employ really talented people to write really good scripts that entertained fucking people all over the world. Children, adults. There were tons of these crossover franchise type films like Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and just like all of these RoboCop franchise, like all of these films that could be enjoyed by kids and adults and everybody in between. And there's so much excuse making now when a bad movie comes out. Like, people have just been like conditioned to eat dog food and go like, well, what do you expect him to do? Make a good movie? I don't know. Well, I mean, like, look, would you say Godzilla won because he had Kong pretty much beat until Mecha G came out? Number one, he only had Kong beat until they fucking jump-started his heart. And number two, Kong is the one that beats the fuck out of Mechagodzilla. So if Mechagodzilla almost kills fucking Godzilla, which he does, like he's about to deliver the killing blow on Godzilla when fucking Monkey comes and saves his ass, and then Monkey does the balance of that fight and kills Mechagodzilla.
It's like Godzilla didn't even know how to beat Kong. It's like he left them there like he was dying, but he
Right.
didn't like try to rip his face off or disembowel him or whatever.
Well, I think it was just like a dominance thing.
Yeah.
But he killed him. Like he would have killed him though. If they hadn't jump started his heart, he did enough damage to him that Kong was just gonna fucking croak. Godzilla clearly spared Kong, and Kong clearly spared Godzilla. He could have let Mechagodzilla kill that dumbass fucking lizard before he beat it down, because he didn't need fucking Godzilla's help with it. He picked up his axe and just fucking cut all its arms off and shit.
Oh yeah, the little girl just decides that he needs to help Godzilla.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Kong.
Convince him.
Yeah, she's like, please, Godzilla, not enemy. Whatever, dude. This is such a stupid movie. Kong could have finished Zilla with his axe and he let him slink away into the ocean. That's absolutely fucking true, dude. Like, the end of that movie, that's how I interpreted it, is like Godzilla stood there and he was like, "We cool, bro?" And Chad Kong was just like, "I'll give you a pass this time, Holmes. Go ahead." And Godzilla was like, "All right, thanks." Back to the ocean with me, I guess. Is it all right if I go, Chad? Yeah, Cuck, it's cool.
And like another stupid thing was like how bad they were at evacuating people. It's like they just have to have all these like nobodies zoomed out. A couple of them get smooshed, even though they've been living with these titans forever,
Dude,
supposedly.
Like, Hong Kong is portrayed as really bad at evacuating people in this movie because they've got like a 3-hour heads up that Godzilla's heading towards Hong Kong. And when he gets there, it looks like it's fucking just like a warm, breezy Saturday night in downtown Hong Kong. People are like eating ice cream and shit still. It's like, wait a minute. You guys didn't blow the horn and warn everybody that fucking Godzilla's coming?
Dude, you see what Joe did? Kong equals stray kitty. Godzilla equals Dynor.
Yep. Yup. Yep, dude, the virgin lizard at the end is like, "Excuse me, Mr. Kong?" Kong's like, "What?" Would it be okay if I slunk back into the ocean like a slithering snake on my belly? Yeah, bitch, just go. Thank you, sir. Lizard incel versus monkey Chad, dude. Yep. Nice coping mechanism. Coping? What are you talking about, dude?
He might be talking to someone else.
Oh, maybe. I know he wasn't talking to me. There's no cope in this. Yeah, dude. Tell your sister I said hi there, Godzilla. Oh, I sure will, Mr. Kong. I sure will. Tell your mom I said what up, too. That ass still good and plump? Oh, don't make me talk about my mom's butt, Godzilla, please. Or Kong, please. All right, you can go. Slap that big blubbery ass for me, though, when you get there. Do I have to? Yes. You want this axe? No, Mr. Kong. I want to hear that ass slap. Yes, sir, Mr. Kong. You'll hear it, sir. All right. Godzilla essentially killed Kong. Then why did he have to get a pass from Kong at the end of the movie?
It's like, why didn't he just disembowel Kong?
Yeah, why didn't he just go like, "Oh, yeah, now I gotta finish you, bitch." And just go finish off Kong again? Why did he stand there looking like a little fucking virgin and ask permission if he could leave the city? Because that's how it went down. There was no mutual respect. It's not like they looked at each other at the same time. Fucking lizard walked to the edge of the ocean and turned around and was like, "Meh." And Kong was like, fucking set his axe down and was like, "Meh." And the lizard was like, "Meh," and went back into the ocean. Like, that's how you read that? Mutual respect? Mm-mm. No, sir. Without the axe, Kong has no chance in hell. Well, I guess it's cool that it's canon that he has the fucking axe then, huh, dipshit?
Like, We were almost expecting like some fucking other King Kongs to come out in robes in that temple and be like, "Welcome home, brother."
Yeah, dude, I thought there was gonna be like some fucking old wise Kong down there. That would have been cool. But there was no wise Kong. I was hoping for like a training montage where the old wise Kong trains the young Kong in the center of the earth to beat Godzilla. With Eye of the Tiger playing in the background. Dun, 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 dun. You know, old wise gorilla showing him how to work the big fucking speed bag that's made out of the body of one of the big lizards that lives down there. That see? That would have added like 10 dope levels to this movie just alone. But no. Kong
Or
got
if
an
he had
overpowered
forged
loot
his
drop.
own axe.
Yeah, dude, if he went down there and like fucking made his own axe, like he went like fuck finding an axe, like he just took the bone of some ancient fucking titan and grabbed a piece of rock and just slammed it in there and was like, "Bruh," you know, that would have been cool, but no. No. But whatever, you can't complain. That's like me going like, "Oh, well, the only reason Godzilla was able to get one over on Kong earlier in the movie is because he has his laser breath." You know, cry me a river, bitch. So Kong's got a fucking axe now. Deal with it.
Go down out here, Kate. Y'all done with that mess.
Gorilla wins as usual. Just the way it is. Shit out of Pimp Kane, TBH. Yeah. I mean, he kind of did. The axe.
You need more water there, baby?
Yeah. Thank you, honey.
Yeah.
How do you rate the movie from a 1 to 10? I don't do that. I don't even know, wouldn't even know how to do that. I rate the movie a don't watch it unless you're super bored or super duper into Godzilla or King Kong. Like, don't watch it unless that applies to you, because it's a waste of your time. I'm coping? You're the one fucking out here coping, dude. Who asked for a pass at the end of the movie? I'll wait. Excuse me, sir. Bro. Bro, get the fuck out of here. That's how the movie ends, right? That's how I remember the movie ends. Maybe it was an April Fool's joke. Oh boy. Nobody won, but I'm the one coping. It was a total draw, bro. Get out of here. Yep, gorilla sea lizard, gorilla pound lizard with stick, lizard die. Actual movie comes out in another year and has a different director that makes it 4 hours long, dude. No, they just get Zack Snyder to start recutting every bad movie. You thought you were bored before. Wait until you see the 5.5 hour long Zack Snyder cut of Godzilla vs. Kong. Coming this summer to HBO Max. They got a good scam going here with this shit. We live in a society, don't we, King Kong? Listen, the Joker's the only one he'll communicate with. Oh, man. What a fucking nightmare, bro. Do I have my... Oh, yeah, I do. Ugh. Godzilla v. Kong, Dawn of Mustard. Is that a birthday cake? Well, thank you, Sarah. You didn't have to do that. It's very nice of you.
I had to give Cricket a watch.
Oh, yeah.
He finally started eating it. I was going to lose it if he was going to refuse that one,
Nope.
too, and have another 10 cans from my multi-pack that he wouldn't eat.
Nope. He's going to eat it.
It's literally tuna and whitefish, and he was, like, putting his nose up at it this whole time.
It's like, what? Are you not a cat, Cricket?
He likes that turkey and cheese, though, for some reason.
Well, thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. Or wishes, whatever. The birthday witches. Jessica and Chelsea, the birthday witches. Have a good birthday, my dude. Well, thank you.
Yeah, that glass is giant. It's not perspective.
Nope. Tis not. How old am I now? I will be 41. I don't think I'm 41 just yet, technically. I will soon be 41. Boomer? Nope. I'm about 20 years too young to be a boomer. I ordered your present a bit late, but it's pretty awesome. Well, that you didn't have to do that, Chelsea, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. 41 years young. Yeah. So far, 41 feels pretty much like 40 did, which is a good sign. Remember what time you were born? I was born at like early in the morning. So like 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm pretty sure.
I have a boring ass time. I was born at noon.
Why is that boring? You were born at high noon.
Okay.
Showdown at the Amelia Corral. High noon.
Well, I don't think your mom was in labor as long as mine was in labor.
No. I was a huge child, too. I just came falling out of my mother. I was like, I was 10 pounds, 11 ounces. An ounce short of an 11-pound child.
I don't think it's an ounce short. I think there's 16 ounces in a pound.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. It was close. 10, 11, dude. There was 12 ounces in a pound. There's
16.
Jesus
I
Christ.
just checked.
I need to go back to school. Send me back to elementary school. I'm turning 41 and I don't know how many ounces are in a pound. I forgot. Maybe that's the key. Maybe we all just need to go back to school at 40. Dude, imagine giving birth. No, thank you. Pass. No. Imagine giving birth to a fucking monster of a child. Do you really want that, Paul? Want what?
Going back to school, I guess.
No. No. That was a joke. Going back to school. It's okay, Paul. The rest of the world doesn't know that unit conversion either.
Yeah.
Metric system win.
Yeah, you'd probably know that a lot better.
Maybe.
It's all units of 10.
Yeah. It all makes sense and whatnot. 20 Cheshire ounces to a pound. Metric system makes more sense. Maybe it do. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Thank you guys for the well wishes and whatnot, and I'll see you next time. Bye.